If you want to be a spiritually dynamic person, it starts with the basics of getting your character in order first.
Galighticus is a home that you can come to for your spiritual knowledge, spiritual nourishment.
I have more clarity, I have more spiritual power. Just things have gotten better. My life has gotten a lot easier since I started, so it's just been an amazing ride, and I am an initiate.
I'm here today to ascend, become enlightened.
Well, for me, I grew up as a Christian like a lot of other people too, and I just feel like I resonate way more with spirituality and the things that Sweet Master is teaching. You can't learn it anywhere else.
Galighticus means everything to me. It's grounded me, it's given me peace.
And really just an accelerant to your spiritual journey.
You guys beat out all of the other millions and millions of sperm to be in your seat right now. Isn't that amazing?
And right there, that is letting you know that Galighticus is possibly your spiritual family, if you would allow it to be.
Galighticus. Forever. And ever. I say.
Join us today.
And as I'm talking to him, I'm asking him, I'm telling him, he's like, he knows his music is amazing. He knows that he's a musical juggernaut, for lack of a better term. And he asked me 3 times, what do you want, Gano? I'm like, well, I want this, that, and the third. And, I Amy-L'd him, right? But the 3rd time he asked me the question, that's nice, but what do you want, Gano? I got it. And then I had a choice to make. I said, I'm not going to waste his time anymore until I take the time and go back and update my musical knowledge so that I can answer the question correctly and get what my desire is, to have something specific from this person who is analogous to what a musical god would be. And the reason that I keep challenging you guys not to be as long-winded and mishmash with how you speak and articulate is because eventually you will be in the presence of a divine being and they question you. And they don't question you because they don't know the answer. They question you to see how clear you are. And if you Amy-L them, no disrespect, that conversation and that discourse will end quickly. And it probably won't come around again because everything is cyclic. Everything is cycle. And the determination might be, okay, well, like Erykah Badu, maybe in another lifetime, maybe not even the next lifetime, but he's so garbled and unclear, it's going to take about 10 more lifetimes for them to warrant my presence. And that's not really something that you want. So practice being specific, clear, and didactic with the specificity of how you articulate, communicate, and make clear what it is that you want from another person, an expectation from a business, or whatever it is. Clarify it. Have clarity of thought. It's that simple. It's not rocket science. And the reason that people do not have clarity of thought in their lives and in their own psyches is because they're overstimulated with nonsense. And the ravages and the repercussions of instant gratification from things that don't really matter. And they don't spend time thinking freely and clearly as a sport or an exercise. And I realized that when you talk to people and they say, oh, you're giving it too, the mother of my first 4 children, she had this mantra, Oh, you're giving it too much head, Gano. Oh, you're thinking about it too much. You give it too much. Everything is, I think about it too much. But do I really? Or do you not think at all? So it's okay to be small-minded if you choose to be that way, and to be regular, and I'm imperfect. I'm perfectly flawed. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. We're all human. I just want to be perfectly flawed. And some people celebrate that mentality. But that's also a program that starts with a choice for you to participate in that. So when people have this wonderful colloquial of, oh, we're all the same, nobody's better than anybody, we're all the same, everything is, we're all one. I'm not the same as a crackhead on the corner. I am not the same as someone who has not worked to polish themselves or to be elevated in their spirituality. Please don't compare me or make me synonymous with that, because now you're disrespecting all of the time and energy that I put into who I am. So these convenient terms exist to equalize and make people who haven't done the work the same as you. And you need to make it clear whenever it presents itself. So again, a lot of times when I challenge you to be clear about the question, I'm listening to you with a greedy ear. And if I hear that, like I said, some people are long-winded, and that's fine. Some people are not clear when they're giving a philosophy or philosophization or something like that. There's always a more clear, better ways. I try to search for ways to get the point across quickly. So that's why I'm challenging you, Amy L., because it wasn't clear what you were saying. You were giving me a philosophy and just like, brother, get to the point. I'm sorry. Yeah, yes, Liz.
I worked in sales for a lot of years, and one of the things that I was always taught is that if you can't get your point across within 30 seconds, you have lost the attention of the person you're talking to. And so I learned early on, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, duly noted. Yes, Reginald, you have a question or a sentiment?
I wrote my question down. So I've never done an ancestral pardon before, but I transacted for it later on today.
Yes.
Can you share examples of worthwhile ancestral pardons that we can request?
That's fair enough. So the ancestral pardon and petition, it's a two-part ritual that you will ask your entire lineage to assist you with something that you cannot do on your own. That's the petition part. The pardon part is where you're asking the gods, which would be in particular Lord Shiva or Lord Ganesha, who remove obstacles, and Lord Shiva would destroy the parts that you are looking for to be pardoned from. So there may be something in your life that you're looking to be pardoned from, or even a future event, or certain thoughts that you may have had, or something that you are sorrowful for that you cannot and have not been able to remove out of your consciousness, or it may be the pardon for someone in your family. You may want to ask the gods for a pardon for an action or something that was perpetuated by someone in your family. Your daughter may have shot someone in the head with a water gun, and it may have bothered you. And you may want to ask for clemency from the gods to excuse her from that. Does that make sense? See how I softened that? You like that? Okay, so that's the purpose of that particular ritual, and it's very powerful. If you want to know more about the mechanics of it, I can give that to you another time, but it is something that we're introducing this particular weekend, and use it how you will, okay? Okay, Amy L., are you ready now? You're still.
No, yeah. I've been actually,
still philosophizing.
Since you've been saying that to me for the longest now, I've been asking myself, how does one come up with a succinct questions that get the best answer for a while now? I'm still looking for that, because like you said, I'm tired of the philosophizing. and I have a lot of questions, but I need to be better at it. So
Are those questions, or is it mental fodder?
that's another question to ask myself.
Okay, so I know what COC challenged Amiel with, so I'm going to help him out. We challenged him and said, where did he get the authority to continue to say to people that he was dispatching healing angels?
Really? Hold up. Say what? You've been.
So when somebody passes away, I will write sending prayer and healing angels to you and your family. And so me saying that was saying like I'm sending a message to the angels to be with you and your family. And so I didn't want to look at it or for it to be any way like me being an authority, but that's what I was conveying from my heart. You know what I'm saying? So I was basically sending a message to the angels to be with them and their family. And I'm asking if it's okay.
When you say, well, you know, what angels are you sending? Who specifically are you sending when you do this, or when you have done it?
No, I didn't have any angels in mind.
Oh, so you're just sending the concept and thought of angels and whatnot.
that take care of that.
That's another one. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yay. So, you know, again, it's cute. It's something that, you know, I know your intention. Intentions are very important. But the specifics of you know, I'm sending you angels. I don't think it's any law you're breaking or any karma. I mean, you know, the angels know your heart, I guess. You know what I mean? But, you know, you have to be careful about that because you're putting yourself into a lane that you may not know the full mechanics of. Case in point, I drive a lot, and I drive mostly in the passing lane or the HOV lane. As I drive fast, because I know what I'm doing. And there are people in the HOV lane that drive slow. They shouldn't be there. And it burns me up every time. So I'm beeping my horn, and they're looking at me like I'm crazy, and I'm like, dude, you should be over there in the slow lane. Just because you have 6 people, you don't have to be in this lane. You're driving too slow. And then there are people in the passing lane that they're doing 59 miles an hour. The speed limit is 60. Move over to the middle lane. Just because you have the lawful right to be in the passing lane and do 1 mile less than what the speed limit says, you're effing up the traffic. And there is a mixture of unclarity that, again, as a result, when I drive, Liz will tell you, I'm like, if there's a hole or if there's this occupancy, I'm going to find it. I know I tried to avoid the pause, but if there's a hole, I'm going to be in there. I'm going to be here, there. I'm in the traffic, guys. Seriously. Y'all are wild for that. So you will also find that there is a synonymy with.
Sri Master.
Yes.
I just want to make it clear, though, that when you're driving, usually my eyes are closed and I'm holding very tightly to the armrest.
Yeah? Oh, I never
I
do
don't
that.
see anything.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Okay.
I have noticed that. Yeah, Liz would just recline to be like, I thought you were just meditating and zenning out.
Yes.
Oh.
That's what that is. You can.
Oh, okay.
I'm praying to my guardians and asking my ancestors to protect me.
Yes, yes, yes. Duly noted. So I happen to notice that also the way that I drive is also the way that I live. If there is a concert, there's a long line, I'm going to, by osmosis, be in front of most people. It's just what it is. And this carries over. So this says something about the mechanism that determines what's inside of your soul and how it interfaces with the world. Whereas antithetically, when I'm driving a lot of times, I'll be asking myself, why are these people on this long line to my right when all they have to do is get to the middle and move up and then not cut in, but there will be a hole or an occupancy for them to get into. These people are NPCs. Have you ever seen that before? So not in this particular presentation, but maybe the next one, we're going to go deep into exactly what the simulation is and all of the proof that goes into it. Would you guys like that? Yes. Okay, fantastic. So Amy, have you got your thoughts together yet or not really?
Well, I thought they said it, the question.
Okay, so the answer, were you asking me a question in particular, Jennifer?
No, she was giving clarification.
Oh, okay, got you. So did you answer the question? Where did you get the authority to send people angels and all of that stuff?
Yeah, she asked me that, and I said that just came from my heart.
I got you. Okay, cool.
So I just didn't want it to be disrespectful. If it was, then I'll cut it out.
Yeah, no, keep doing that. That's fine. That's great. Yeah. Keep sending people, angels and healing and all of that stuff. And as you increase your knowledge, maybe that will transform into something even higher. All right? Yes, Anthony Blair, please. Bring the ruckus.
There's a book by the name of When Rocks Cry Out by a guy named Horace Butler. He's a very educated scholar. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Ivan Van Sertima, but he's in that league of historical facts and long story short.
Would you put him up there with Check Antagiap?
He's up there. He's definitely solid.
Duly noted.
So he tells, with a bunch of empirical facts of this, he calls him Jesus, South America. Now, he brings up how they have a black Jesus that they parade through Brazil, or is it Colombia? I'm not sure. Somewhere in South America, but there's towns and cities in South America leading all the way up to North America. Some of these cities have Lord Toph's name, Quetzalcoatl's name. Is there any validity to this story of this gentleman who he calls Jesus, and it seems very real, and he brings up a lot of interesting parallels. He doesn't say that was Lord Toph, but it's very interesting that the cities and the places that this person has been goes back into some of the stories that I know about Lord Toph.
Did you guys hear that? Have any of you guys ever wondered anything similar to what he has espoused in his question about this book in particular? You have wondered? Okay, on the other side, a little further down, and thank you for asking that. On the other side, or a little further down the ruler, by now, you guys should have come to a very clear conclusion. One of the things I said I do not want to do, and I won't do it, but I'll say this. I have provided all of the proof already. I have taught all of the teachings already. People say, people pray, people cry for signs from the spiritual world. I want to be clear on what the truth of the reality is. How many of you have made that plead? Raise your hand. I know I have. If you guys haven't put it together by now, you're not paying attention. And there are certain things, my students can tell you this. I'll present the fact. How many of you saw the movie by, I believe his name is Michael Moore, Fahrenheit 9/11? How many of you saw the documentary? Okay, so let me ask you something. When you saw that documentary, what did you come away with knowing for a fact? What is the one thing that was made resoundingly clear after that documentary was over? Does anybody, would anybody like to, yes, please, can we get whoever has the mic, whoever has the hand up, let's get them the mic. What was made resoundingly clear after you saw that documentary?
That I could not deny that 9/11 was set up. It was orchestrated to the T. I could not deny that.
Okay. I'm waiting to hear something because I haven't heard it yet.
They used or rused the 9/11 event to instill fear upon the population for them to give up by free will their freedom of certain aspects of their livelihood.
Okay. Still waiting to hear it. The obvious, the main thing. Don't be scared, guys. We're in a safe space.
Oh, that they just lied to us in our
Agents
face?
in the room already know this. And we're not saying something that people don't already know. So don't be scared.
Sure, Master, I'll take
If we die, we die together. Right? Yes, please.
Clearly, the was behind.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's what the film made resoundingly clear without saying it. The film showed you all of the proof. It showed you how an insurance policy was taken out right before it happened. It showed you who just bought out the World Trade Center. It showed you the motivation as to why it became a liability for the person who just bought it. It showed the motivation as to what would happen if something did happen with the World Trade Center. It showed you all of the good stuff, and then it said, okay, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. And then you're looking at all of these things, and then the movie ends. When I walked out, I also said, oh. So the analogy that I'm giving you guys is I, like Michael Moore and Fahrenheit 9/11, there are certain things that I know that I'm not going to tell you, that I shouldn't have to tell you. I'm the type of person that I can show you better than I can tell you. If I illustrate something clearly, that should tell you a lot more than words, right? Don't they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words? So how much would a photo album be? How much would a video be worth? But because in today's society, we're so overstimulated by instant gratification and the graphics from video games and movies and all of this other stuff, sometimes the proof is right in front of you and you still won't see it. So to answer your question, Anthony Blair, is there any validity or truth to what they say Jesus is, and Quetzalcoatl is how you pronounce it, Kukulkan, Chihuti, Lord Toph, all of those things? I'm going to leave that up for you to decide, because I refuse to say certain things, because if someone doesn't step up and say, hey, wait a minute, your chocolate is in my peanut butter. And that makes that combination a Reese's peanut butter cup. And it's delicious. If you can't come to that conclusion with all of your senses and all of the data that has been presented to you, are you also an NPC? You might be. And maybe I'm on the other side trying to wake you up out of that.
The gods,
all throughout the universe, there are complex groups and hierarchies that govern all of what shall be. They have been given the power to facilitate life across the habitant worlds, as well as depixelation of those who seek to pervert the Creator's power. The office held by exalted beings is exactly where monarchy, government, and the ruling factions of this world pattern their very existence from. We will take a closer look at their origin and purpose of being, as well as direct ways that we should approach them and how to align with them. I am Sri Master Gano Grills for Galighticus, and this is the Gods Seminar. But it's not my job to spoon feed you the obvious. And it's that simple. So some of you are going to come after me on the break and say, hey, I don't want to say anything. I'm embarrassed and ashamed, but are you? And I'm not even going to entertain it. The proof is, right, Rosina, the proof is out there. Rosina, would you say the proof is out there?
Absolutely.
Jennifer, would you say, now Jennifer's family comes from the church, still is in the church. Would you say the proof has been established?
Yes.
The Sweat Sisters, how are you? It's good to see you again. Would you stand up, please, and let the audience look at you? Now, the Sweat Sisters are two erudite, accomplished, retired, educated, traveled, well-read women. They always come to the seminars, always in the cut, always quiet. Sometimes I don't even see them because they're about, I want to see what's happening here. And we talk every now and then, and I appreciate your presence. My question to you, two women who are my elders physically, you've been to a fair enough amount of Galighticus presentations and seminars, and I see that you continue to come back. And you've been with us for a while. Would you say, and I'm asking you a very pointed question, so please forgive me, I don't mean to make you uncomfortable, but would you say that in your observation, the proof has been presented or made clear?
Extremely. Extremely.
Okay.
There's no denying it.
Okay. Would you say the same, your sister?
I would say the same. We have many family members that are heavily into religion. We even have ministers that are still there, and we have just separated away from them because it's ridiculous, and they just keep right on believing without doing any research, without knowing anything else. They just do what's been handed down to them.
Without stepping outside the comfort zone.
Right. Okay. I wanted to ask you two in particular because I have respect for both of you, and I watch the actions of people. All right, so thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Appreciate the answer. So again, there's one thing I learned from Will Smith. And this is before he, unfortunately had his unfortunate declination precipitously, because it's been a few L's that he has taken, correct? Has nothing to do with his acting ability because he is a stellar actor. That boy can go. And he's made me cry numerous times. It's amazing. But he still lacks development in certain other areas of his life. How is that disparity still, that's crazy, isn't it? You would think that he would know better for certain things. But there's one thing that I learned from Will Smith. He said something to the extent that it makes a larger impact on people when you don't tell them. when you let them find out of their own accord, it makes an everlasting impression. Far better than if you said, hey, my name is Sri Master Gano Grills. It might mean something. That means absolutely nothing. But when they come to a conclusion on their own, that is the real revelation in teaching. So I will let you guys determine that, but it's not a question that I would answer without you having full conviction based upon everything and my consistency over the past 13, 14, 15 years. And this is our 36th presentation. I'm gonna say this again. Do you know how much it takes to do an album? There are anywhere from 7, some albums are double, anywhere from 7 to 14 songs on an album. It takes a couple of years to really do an album. You guys know that, right? Vance Hornbuckle, would you agree with that? So every seminar and every presentation is an album's worth. It takes months, and chain of command takes so many hours and days and weeks and meetings and phone calls to arrange all of this. And then I, on my end, have to put a lot of stuff together. So that would be about 36 albums worth of material. Some of you have listened to 12 albums, 20 albums, 5 albums. Some of you, this might be your first album, but it's a lot of work. But if you've listened to 5 albums worth of, figuratively speaking, and you're still not clear about what this is and what's going on and who I am and who we are and what our mission is, you're not paying attention. Then you have to question yourself. Because it is possible for you to be an NPC and not even know it. This is something that, again, and I'm glad you asked the question, I would say also, if there is anyone that's guilty and they feel like they're bastardizing or they're alienating what their family believes in about Jesus Christ, you feel any guilt about that, I can help you with that. I went to a family reunion, was it 2 years ago? My family side. And it was beautiful. I went to this family reunion and I met all of my cousins and people who actually knew my father. Haven't seen him in 50 years, and it was great. And then after the second, I knew they were Christians, but after the third day, I got a dose of, oh, these people are really fanatics. They are hardcore Christianites. And I had to get up out of there. And as I was sitting upstairs the other night, working on AGA, I was literally working on a slide about the ancestors. My cousin, Zeb Strong, inboxed me on, let me go back. When I went to this family reunion, it's a pretty big family. We were in Kilgore, Texas, and I went to a grave site it was a miniature graveyard.
This is the matriarch of the family right here. Oh, wow. Y'all saw that? That was deep.
And it was in disrepair. So there was somewhat of a ceremony, and I walked around all the gravestones. Some of the gravestones were overturned, some of them were cracked, some of them were not legible. These are all of my blood relatives on my father's side. And I knew that they brought me there. And I was just looking around, and it was like, wow. And then I went and I made a biosphere. And I went to the 4 corners of our gravesite, and I got a handful of mud. Some of it had like mulch, some of it was moss, some of it was leaves, and I put it all in a giant glass vase. And a lot of the stuff had insects and little caterpillars and all this. I'm sorry, it's gross. But I put it in that container because, well, first I didn't put it in a container. I put it in a huge plastic Ziploc bag because it all fit in there. So it was really moist and, it was very earthy and organic. I wanted a representation of where my ancestors were on my father's side. So when I got home, I put it in a huge glass vase, and a lot of things were percolating in there, and it's still there. So I made a pledge when I got to the open part that night. All of my, cousins and all that stuff was there. And they're like, we have to restaurate this particular grave site because yada, yada. And I made a pledge. I said, hey guys, I will put up a certain amount of money for this. And I said what the amount was, and everybody was clapping. And I said, I will make that pledge. I haven't heard anything from them. No one has called me and said, hey, cuz, you said that you, and I found that a little odd. And also noticed that about 15 or 20 of my cousins had unfriended me little by little by little by little by little. I said, oh. It only took one of my cousins, they probably, perused my page. Oh, you don't believe in Jesus. He's a heathen. That whole thing. So fast forward, I had every intention on honoring that. When I give my word is, my bond. So as I was working on this slide, I got a DM from my cousin Zeb, right? And Zeb said something to, can I read it? Because I want to be specific. I just don't remember the specifics of what he said, but I'm going to read it to you. I thought it was very interesting timing. But I'm sharing this with you to make a point, guys. So Zeb says, this is out of nowhere, seemingly, right? He says, cousin, I'm sorry. Sorry you had to get the cold shoulder, but know your family recognized you and your presence was appreciated. I know the ancestors were overjoyed with your paying tribute to them at their graves. I hope we can talk soon, if I may. Now, he was like the historian of the family. Hadn't heard from him in about 2 years or a year and a half, or however long it was. I think it's been 2 years because it was last July. I didn't go last year, and here we are. So it was 2 years. What made him reach out to me as I was working on an ancestral slide, haven't heard anything. One of my cousins borrowed some money from me. Said, hey, cuz, I need to hold something. I said, I got you, don't worry about it. This was my father's niece. Gave it to her, sent it to her. I haven't heard from her since. Not to disrespect my family, right? But, it's okay. So my point is I found it interesting that, and I know this is an AGA, but the connectivity of things is very, very, very interesting. Looking at how things happen, I'm working on a slide about the ancestors, and the ancestors convicted him to reach out to me and said, you gave that man a cold shoulder and he's working with us. And they went through the very one who was the historian of it, and whatever was in his heart. I found that very interesting. But I'm saying that the language of how I could have easily, oh, that's a coincidence. Oh, well. Because a lot of times we do that, right? We say, oh, that was a coincidence. It's no coincidences, not when it comes to something that specific and detailed. I took it for what it was. So it was like, okay, we don't want you to forget about us. We need you. And if you need to go back out there and say, listen, I know you guys don't have my same beliefs, but here is what I said I was going to do. I wish you guys the best. Make sure that happens. And that's what I always intended to do that anyway. But my point is, my ancestors made it very clear to me that they still want me to do what I said I was going to do. Right? Okay, yes, you have a question?
More of just saying something real quick. My ancestors will not let me be an NPC or let me be the human default. They keep showing me you, big time. So the first time I put an altar up, I was like, oh my God, I got an altar. I don't know. And my dad, who does not text, sent me a picture of my Catholic grandmother in front of her altar.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I was like, Sri Master Girl. I couldn't believe it, right?
Right.
And then recently, you told me a secret. You and my sister were in my recording, and you guys told me a secret. And this was 3 days before I got the email about my being an initiate. And you guys were at a baby shower, and you both were like haggling me, how you kind of like, you both were, and I was like, why are they kikiing together? My sister is transitioned, of course. And I was like, why are they so close? I couldn't understand anything. I got it, and then you guys was like, almost like you can't see it, it's in front of your face. And then I found out that one of my family members was with child and really needed my assistance.
Wow.
Like she's a high risk pregnancy that they really needed me.
Right.
So
Your
I just want
sister,
to thank you.
how long has she been on the other side?
She's been on the other side, I think 21.
Wow. So her and I were kikiing on the other
I was
side,
kikiing, and I was like, what is this about?
Well, let me ask you something. What do you think that was about?
I think you guys, I think you were welcoming me, I guess, like, because I know a lot of your students had dreams and recordings, rather, with you, and I never did because I wasn't a student yet or initiate, and I felt like she was saying yes. I mean, definitely, my grandmother, who was in the picture, was a matriarch, and my sister was a matriarch. And they were like, yes. And she was also very Catholic, my sister. So they were like, you're on the right path, sis. You're doing your thing.
Exactly. I would agree with you. I would say succinctly, they are validating your initiate program and who I am from where they are as an authority on what I speak about. And you can take all of that to the bank, figuratively speaking. Does that make sense, guys? That's why this thing continues to happen. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. Okay, so I should not have to say this in 2025, but I will so that I can serve you to the highest degree. You ready? As to why you even came here, of Nazareth is a popular myth, but in the spiritual world, he does not exist.